Yo, what the shup is up? This is Country Fried Jake, and I just went out and bought a bunch of Magic cards. I haven't played Magic in probably 10 years, so I was a little bit like a kid in a candy store. I went a little crazy. I got two Commanders decks, a Brothers War Collector box, and a Kamigawa Neon. Yeah, the Neon Dynasty Collector box. I'm going to open that on a separate video. For this one, I don't actually know the contents of this Commander deck, but my wife and I were going to play, so I just wanted some pre-made decks. Thought it would be fun to just grab a couple of these. And so, I'm going to unbox it on the video. Poorly. Gracelessly. Man, that adhesive is something else, huh? Am I missing something here? Counters, huh? Goad and flying. Interesting. Wonder what goad is. I've never heard of that. Whew. Man, I feel stupid trying to open this box right now. There we go. Progress. Oh, I see. Oh, they tricked me. Well, I guess that's kind of cool. I thought that was an actual card. Turns out, it is not. Let's take a look at what we got. Inserts. See, I guess this is a little life counter. Oh, that's pretty neat. Oh, very cool. Oh, a collector booster sample. Interesting. Imagine this is rules, setup, and then of course the deck. And we'll crack that open later. I am going to mangle open this collector sample booster. And what really bothers me about these packs, though, is it's like, I don't know how many cards are in here. It feels like there's not very many. But I'm just so afraid that I'm going to damage the cards, like bend them or something, whenever I open these tiny boosters. It's so flimsy. You know, I'm afraid I'm going to put a crease in it or something like that. At least with box toppers, I think there's only just the one card in there, and it makes me feel like I'm just going to rip them to pieces. Alright, let's see what we got. Garbage. Legions to Ashes. I love that artwork. Liquid metal coating. With the, is that what they call the etched foil, where the foil's on the outside? Just on the border? That's really cool looking. Set these aside for now. Alright. So let's go ahead and open our deck. Garbage goes on the floor, of course. All right. Very cool. So first up, we have Mishra. Another one of those, I guess, I need to look this up. I think it's the etched foil, but, yeah. Oh, and you know what? I'm putting this in the wrong way. I learned, be careful. You gotta stick them into these upside down, of course. And then when you go to put them in, that way it's not open on the top. Next up, as my camera adjusts, give it a second. There we go. Ashnod. Very cool. And I'm making the same mistake I was. Fact or fiction? This could be an interesting card. You trick your opponent into picking the pile you want to go to the graveyard. Thirst for knowledge. Man, yeah, and I have not played Magic in years, and so I just think the cards are so cool. Yeah, I can't wait to start playing again. This is just so exciting. It's like when I came into the shop today, I was like a kid in a candy store. This one is called A Braid. Okay, I do recognize this one. I've been playing a little bit of Arena Expressive Iteration. In the Is It Wizards deck. I like to play Historic. Because of course it has the higher power level, broader, library of cards that you can build decks with, and this is a good one. And it's cool to see it in this. I guess I didn't realize it was I didn't realize it. Well, I guess this is a commander deck, so it's. What I was going to say was I didn't realize it was legal in standard. But since it's a commander deck, I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be the case here. This is the Oni Cult Anvil. This really powerful card with all the artifacts coming out in the Brothers War set. Oh, cool. Look at these retro. Oh, wow. The retro borders are just so friggin' sweet. Oh, that's so cool. I don't even know, like, I can't even comment on, like, the power level of any of the cards, but just because I'm so clueless. But, I just think they're so cool looking, and that's all I really care about right now. And then, maybe getting to play a couple of casual games. And there's just something really neat about pulling it straight out of the box and then straight into the card sleeves, just to try and preserve, that quality as much as possible. This one's interesting. It's the hands on there. It just looks. It's so detailed. It doesn't really. It's not as cartoonish, or it almost looks photorealistic. Which is something I don't feel like I commonly see. Yeah, I mean most of the artworks I've seen don't quite have that level of like photorealism in the hands. That's pretty sweet though. Hedron Archive. Going in. Camera's not behaving for me today. There we go. Ichor Wellspring. I don't know if it's Ichor or Ichor. I think I've heard people pronounce it both ways. Next up we have Mind Stone. Crazy looking card. No idea what's happening in the background there with all those people. It's a ton of artifacts in this. Artifacts, that's pretty interesting. Just all the different, colorless cards. I'd be interested to see how well the Power Stone mechanic from the set is going to work out, in reality. And I've heard some speculation, of course, that I watched some other Magic channels, speculation that the Power Stones are going to be all over the place, and I'm not so sure. The Soul Ring seems interesting. It seems like it could be fairly powerful. 1 mana and you get 2 colorless. And I guess, you could be going into turn 2 with 2 colorless, 2 lands. Bust out a 4-drop. Some decent ramp there. There's another similar card. This one's, man, you go Soul Ring into the Dynamo. I realize it's a commander deck, so it's not going to be terribly likely because it's all one-ofs, but, Since I'm, still fairly new, coming back in, trying to learn, it's interesting to me to see cards like this I feel like would be really powerful. But that's probably just because my judgment is poor. And my camera really does not like the getting up close. But, I remember other cards from Magic's history we had issues with, I guess, for producing too much mana too early in the game. A lot of those wind up becoming problematic and then getting banned. Guess not these. Though, I suppose, I have to get a feel for Commander because, it's a little different. Your strategy might be a little less consistent because of the deck building restrictions and limitations. It's a mere aqueduct. This seems kind of bad as far as lands go. I don't know. Being able to add the 2 colored mana after you get it down is powerful, but that payoff might take a little while. Now we've got another one that it does kind of the same thing. My camera will cooperate. I'm gonna have to work on that for the next one. Gotta dip into a fresh pack of sleeves here. There we go. We've got the myriad landscape. It's a very interesting land support. And all of the old bolt borders, just, they look so cool. Another one of those lands. I wonder how those work out. I guess I'll have to see when I play. Some more card slips here. Reliquary Tower. With the little bonus for no maximum hand size. That's interesting. I bet you can do some crazy stuff with that. Mnemonic Sphere. A little bit of card draw. Thoughtcast. Got the Executioner's Capsule. Does not seem too terribly strong, but, you know. I always have to qualify each of my opinions with how new I am. Got Feed the Swarm. It seems like it could be pretty good. Decent removal. Yeah, you're losing the life, but you know what they always say, it's only the last life point that counts. Faithless Looting. Draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards. For 1? Holy cow. That's okay. That's insane. Really? It seems really good. Oops. Arcane Signet. 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Some more ramp. Commander's Sphere. It's similar to that previous one, but The little bonus there. Sacrifice, draw a card. Wonder what circumstances you'd want to use that in. I guess if you're running low on resources, you don't need as much of the mana anymore. It's mere signet. So you could trade out a colorless mana for swamp and island. Come on. Glint Raker. I'm not going to spend the time to read all of these right now. Just really like the artwork. And then, you know, there's just, like I said, there's something about just putting card sleeves on new cards. It's just very satisfying. Very satisfying thing to do. That's crazy looking. I'll have to go back later and see if I put any more of these in the perfect fit the wrong way. I'm sure I did at least one. I mean, you see how much... Oh, man. That's meaty. I wonder how likely... I wonder how you're supposed to kind of compress these. I'll have to look that up later, but yeah. Blast Furnace Hellkite. Okay, that's crazy. I mean, the effects is, you know, you're paying for it, right? It's like 7 and 2 red, but I'm sure there's ways to cheat it out. Fareed. More artifacts. Machine God's Effigy. This is bonkers. I'm not even sure how to use this. I guess to copy for some kind of crazy creature effect. Well, I'm not even sure how it would work. It says it's not a creature. It's something that I guess I'll have to look up. That to me might just imply, you know, it's treated as an artifact only while it's on the field. But it still gets like attack and defense. I'm not really sure. Scavenged Brawler. I wish I could illustrate like this. It's just the imagination on these people. So cool. Smelting vat. Wondrous Crucible. Ward 2 on everything? Yeah. Whoo! Get that out and cause some chaos with the copy effect. I can't wait to try this out. Oh, I almost bent it. And I bet shuffling these is going to be a little bit difficult. Okay, well, here is a, I think that's a mythic. This guy looks crazy. Phyrexian zombie. Wow. The effect is pretty good. You know, I think I underestimated the size of this deck and the amount of time it would take to get through all these cards. But we're gonna do it. My camera will cooperate here. Herald of Anguish. Here's something interesting. I think that's a lowercase h on the front. And I know most of these are in title case. I mean, if we're looking at... Come on. Looking at these names. That's title case. I might just be wrong and that's just the style, but... We just showed off the captain. I'm going to be on the lookout for another H card that should have a capital H and just see if that's just how their style is. But to me, that looked like a lowercase. Silas Wren with Death Touch. And then you can cast an artifact from your graveyard if it connects. As a 2/2, I don't know how frequently you're going to get the option to do that, but especially since you'll have to, pay the cost for the artifact from your graveyard as well? I guess if you can give it flying or something. With the form engine. Whew. Some of these artifacts let you do some crazy stuff. That's so cool looking. So I'm surprised to see a merfolk in here. Don't they usually do synergy effects? Shows what I know, huh? Let's see how many we have left. Feels like a lot, but I think with this... Whoa. That is thick. Thick. Look at that. Look at the comparison on that. Let me set these down. Sturdy. I'm trying to do this in a way that makes sense. Look at the thickness difference on that. See that? That boy thick. Okay, so when you take the tokens out, which I'm probably not going to put into cases, I'll consider it. I'm not even sure if Mishra will fit in the perfect fits. Being so husky. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, it's not looking good, fam. Oh, there we go. Getting them jeans, Mishra. You can do it. Oh. Yo. There's like a wrinkle in the plastic. Thick. I think they did this for the to keep the card from warping as much, if I'm not mistaken. Made them so thick. Did I do this the wrong way? Oh, no. I put him in the wrong way. Oh no. Mishra, you're gonna have to come back out. I'm definitely gonna damage this in some way. Oh, Mishra. Why did you let me do this? Let me see. I may have to perform surgery on this later, because I'm going to fuck it up. We'll come back to you, Mishra. Got the transmuter. I think I'm going to get a pair of scissors and just cut the perfect fit off. Make it a little easier. This is bonkers. Look at the detail on that. Artifacts you control have hexproof. That is nuts. And the card draw bonus. Artifact creatures have flying? Dang. Feign the Broker. Does a lot for 3 mana. And you can pay to untap as well. It's probably more of a late game thing. Audacious Reshapers. Okay. Yeah. That's a nice way to get out a big old artifact. Again, probably not as consistent in Commander since the deck building restrictions, but could be a cool way to introduce some chaos to the board. Blasphemous Act. Another really atmospheric, very cool looking card. 13 damage to each creature. Yeah, that's not a lot that's going to survive that unless it's buffed to insane levels or it's protection. Chaos Warp. Seems that could be a good way to get rid of something that's just a really nasty threat. Of course, it's got the downside attached to it, but there's always the risk that it introduces another threat that's either just as bad or potentially worse. Got the cursed mirror. That's cool. Hellkite Igniter. The dragons are so cool. Interesting. So it's got a little bit of artifact protection there. Not bad. Bedevil. Look at that background. That's the, or is that the colorless? Or multicolor, right? Destroy target artifact, creature, or planeswalker. Some nice generic removal there. 3 mana, 2 swamps, a mountain. But it's an instant. Decent little card. Removal is always great. Got to be able to deal with the opponent's threats. This guy looks wicked. Creature tokens have haste, and it makes its own tokens. Oh, and it, oh wow, that's pretty amazing. Copies token effects over. So if you can make a bunch of tokens, and one of them has a crazy effect, maybe like using that the Wicked Mirror or whatever else it was called, that can make a target of a creature, you just copy that over to all your other tokens. That's pretty nuts. Okay, so there's more token support. And, oh, you can make a 10/10 with this one. Costs 8 though, gotta have a lot. I haven't really seen a lot of Power Stone effects in this deck. I know a lot of the Brothers War cards had Power Stone related effects. I've not seen very many in this deck so far. Or any. Very cool. Yeah, if you can discount this, that could be a pretty big threat the opponent's got to deal with. Got Mirror Works. And this, okay, so this is making, this is your other token factory here. Of course, since it's an artifact as well, it just stays on the board unless your opponent deals with it. But yeah, so there's some interesting token synergies that I'm seeing as possible for this deck. And then our deck's getting pretty big over here. It's just sliding out of control. I'm probably going to drop this. I mean, yeah, that's huge. Gonna have a fun time shuffling that. Oblivion Stone. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Spine of Ishsa. Okay, so I had to stop the video because my camera was dying. Fantastic. Let's get back into it. So I managed to rehome Mishra here. Thankfully. Snipped him out of the old Perfect Fit case. And let's proceed with the deck. So next one we've got is the Strionic Resonator. Copying the triggered ability, it's pretty nice. Got trading post. Several options there with the trading post. So we have Traxos, Scourge of Krug. So, cheap creature for the mana, but has a pretty big downside. You have to cast a historic spell in order for Traxos to untap. Darkwater Catacombs. So, through trial and error, found out my camera really doesn't like it when there's other cards in the background. So, we're going to go with this view for now. We've got Exotic Orchard. 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. That seems pretty good. Especially in Commander when, 3 or even 4 colors is like a viable thing for a deck. Shadowblood Ridge. Another way to sort of transform colorless into black and red. Card sleeve upside down. Alright. Next is Smoldering Marsh. Comes into play tapped unless you control 2 basic lands already. Give you some options. Alright. Temple of Deceit enters the battlefield tapped, and you can scry 1. Temple of Epiphany. Similar to the previous, but with the mountain instead of the swamp there. And then, as part of the same cycle, Temple of Malice. Mycosynth Wellspring. Double dip on the lands when it comes into play and when it leaves. So I guess you could use this to sacrifice for another effect and then get another land out of it. Not bad. Nihil Spellbomb. Exile an entire graveyard, wow. Prophetic Prism. It's another way to cycle the mana. Oh, I did not. All right. So we have Rakdos Signet. Wayfarer's Bauble. Seems a little expensive for searching out the land, but Ash Barrens. That seems pretty good. Command Tower. 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Drossforge Bridge. Indestructible. Oh, it's an artifact land. Interesting. Great Furnace. Misfault Bridge, another artifact land. The Path of Ancestry. Oh, That's interesting. Gives you a little bonus for Scry 1. If you spend the mana, it generates. Seat of the Synod. Artifact land. With for island. Silver Bluff Bridge. More artifact land. Terramorphic Expanse. That seems pretty good. Very quick land search. I mean, you take up your land drop for the turn, but, you know, if you don't have any, then it's a quick way to go grab whatever you want. Vault of Whispers. Okay. I think the rest of these are just the basic lands. So I will not record me putting the slips on all of these. Yep, so it's just a handful of swamps, islands, and mountains there. And then we did have some tokens that came along with this product. Got the servo. Oh, and if you flip to the back, they've got Eldrazi, Mishra's Warform, Inkling. Never heard of Inklings before. And a bunch of copies. Power Stones on the back. Scrap. Phyrexian Myrrh. Power Stone. Goat. He's got himself a snack. That's pretty funny. Construct. Yeah. This deck is pretty big. I'm probably going to spill these cards. See, they're already starting to slide off. I'm going to attempt to turn it on its side so we can see. I'm going to actually focus it out a little bit here. This is not going to end well. Oh man, this is crazy. Look how big this is. And I don't even have the lands in there. Or the basic lands. Oh wow, yeah. This is it's getting almost unmanageable. Well, maybe I should not have double slipped the commander deck, but you know. It was a lot of fun. There's something, like I said, just very therapeutic about putting card slips on and then, you know, just preserving the quality of that card. We did get the commander out of his out of his old slip and put in there right setup. And I've got to clean up on aisle 3 over here. I'm gonna need ordered. I had a lot of fun doing this. If you've managed to make it this far, thank you so much for watching. And, yeah. Hope I'll see you again sometime. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.